I have just had something quite interesting happen. As you can see, I've just kegged a beer out of my Cooper's fermenter. And you can see this little Krausen collar. It's not much of a Krausen collar. It wasn't a very aggressive fermentation. In fact, I thought the fermentation had stalled. It was maybe a day or two into it that this Krausen collar showed up, but I never witnessed for myself looking in there, and I looked at it every day. I never witnessed any bubbles coming up, anything like that, and I thought that I had my very first stalled fermentation. So, in a way, I was kind of excited to report that, but it started out at about 1.48 as the specific gravity, and now it's down to about 1.009, so it definitely fermented out. Now you see this small Krausen collar, and if I pull forward, there is not much of a yeast cake there. In my experience, that's maybe, gosh, it's not even a fourth. Maybe it's only about a fifth. Look at all that beer that's left. I don't know, it's just really strange. And I actually poured beer off the top of there because it just seems so strange to me, and it's a warm, flat ale with a bunch of yeast in it, but it's not bad. This is just a Cooper's kit. 720 grams of dextrose and 500 grams of dry malt extract. This is an idea that I think Craig Farraway came up with. He calls it his 5-7 or 7-5 or something like that. But I've never seen so little yeast buildup before. And what I had done was I took the yeast off the top of the can, because this was a very old, well, it wasn't very old, it was the kit was about, well, the pre-hopped extract was about 7 months, I think, out of date, based on the date on the bottom of the can. And, of course, the yeast is just in this little foil thing, and it sits on top of the can, and it's been on a shelf, I guess, at Amazon, and who knows where it was trucked around to and how long it's been sitting where, but it normally, even dry yeast, you want to keep it in the fridge, right? So I made a starter out of it. I made a starter out of it. And so I should have had more than plenty of yeast, so I would have expected a really aggressive fermentation, which maybe is what happened, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this, even from an aggressive fermentation, all I got was that little bit of a Krausen collar, and that's why it seemed to be stalled. It just maybe all fermented really fast, and I missed it. But it apparently fermented all out. In terms of being a flat ale, a warm, flat ale, it's not bad. But I just can't explain that teeny tiny yeast cake. So if any of you have any ideas, if you've ever seen anything like this of your own, and even if it's, I don't know, 6 years, 10 years, however long after this video is published, if you have any ideas about what might be going on, or if it just seems normal to you to have just a little tiny yeast cake, let me know in the comments below, because this is a first for me. Thank you.